Hey guys, LevelCap here, and today in gaming, Steam is officially the biggest mainstream gaming platform around. CD Projekt Red's co-founder took some responsibility for the game's launch, the mid-season update for Call of Duty Cold War is rolling out, and much more. Steam has officially eclipsed PlayStation and Xbox as the single largest gaming platform. Steam recently broke 120 million concurrent users per month. The PlayStation Network across the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 5 is averaging 102 million monthly active users. It's a similar story for Xbox Live, which averages 90 million active users per month. Obviously, none of these numbers are bad, but it's still very impressive that PC gaming has taken such a huge chunk of the market. For years, PC gaming was often viewed as the more expensive and frustrating way of playing games, and to a certain extent that generalization is true. Thanks to the pandemic and recent tariffs, it's been even harder and more expensive to buy parts for the gaming PC today. On top of that, hackers and cheaters are a rampant issue on PC, whereas console players only have to deal with them in games with cross-play support for PC. But considering just how big Steam has gotten, I think the benefits of PC gaming are really starting to show. With the right hardware, you can make your games look better and run smoother than you can on consoles. Plus, you get a machine that can function as a workstation for your job, do content creation, mine cryptocurrency, hack the Matrix. Well, the sky is the limit with PC hardware. Plus, it's got nearly infinite backwards compatibility with older titles. It's kind of endearing to see PC gaming becoming mainstream. There's no arguing with the convenience consoles offer, but when it comes to raw features and performance, PC gaming has always offered more. The cool thing though is that the current gen consoles are neck and neck with PC gaming performance. So regardless of what you buy these days, you're still going to have a good time. The real question is, of course, well, what about the other PC platforms like Origin, Uplay, and the Epic Game Store? Steam indeed represents most PC gamers, as anyone playing Battlefield or Fortnite probably also has some Steam games, but it wouldn't shock me if there were millions of Siege or Fortnite players out there that really aren't active on Steam. Maybe one day we'll get a clear picture of where everyone plays games. But for the time being, it's still incredibly impressive that a single platform like Steam has such a massive user base. What's even crazier is that it's only getting bigger. These numbers jumped up by millions thanks to everyone being stuck at home during the pandemic. It's unclear if they'll start following when life returns to normal, but something tells me we'll be seeing 150 monthly concurrent users on Steam before the end of the year. CD Projekt Red's co-founder released a statement yesterday owning up to the state of Cyberpunk 2077 at launch. Well, sort of anyway. While he accepted the blame as an executive of the company for choosing to launch the game in the state that it was in, he also threw the game's quality assurance team under the bus. Part of his statement says the team didn't catch many of the issues, especially on last-gen consoles that players ultimately ran into. And this seems highly unlikely given the severity of the problems. As somebody who has worked as a quality assurance person at these big name studios, I know exactly how the QA team gets thrown under the bus all the time for any sorts of issues, and the kinds of issues that Cyberpunk 2077 was having seemed like something that just simply couldn't be ignored or undocumented. CD Projekt Red famously had the devs crunching 100-hour work weeks for months. If the devs responsible for addressing quality assurance findings didn't have enough time to do their job, the game was doomed to release with massive issues. Crunch also tends to lead to a lot more things falling through the cracks. So while the company's co-founder did accept some of the blame, I'm willing to bet that the reason for all these problems was simply trying to get the game out in time for holiday season. That said, there were some exciting things to come out of this statement, including a roadmap outlining future updates and content. 2 updates are rolling out in the next few weeks. The first launches in 9 days and will address a massive number of issues on all platforms. The second update will launch a few weeks after and addresses most of the game's problems. With those updates out, last-gen console owners should have a much better experience. Beyond that, players can expect more updates and fixes throughout the year. The game's 2 story DLCs will launch before 2022. Multiplayer is notably missing in action from the roadmap, which is concerning but also somewhat expected. Right after launch, CD Projekt Red said they were shifting their priority to fixing the game at the expense of developing multiplayer. Once the game is fixed and DLCs are out, it's likely we'll hear more about multiplayer. Hopefully, in a few weeks, we can put all these issues behind us and enjoy Cyberpunk as the experience the devs intended it to be. The mid-season update for Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War is rolling out to everyone now. It adds a ton of new content, and even more is coming on February 4th. Right now, players get a new Fireteam map called Sanatorium, a new 6v6 map called Dropkick, a cranked mode for zombies, and new player playlist. Zombies mode is also currently free to play until the 21st. On February 4th, the game will get a new zombies map called Firebase Z and the fan favorite map from Black Ops 2 Express. With Warzone finally in a good state again and Cold War getting a ton of new content, it's probably going to be a pretty nice time to be a COD player. Apex Legends players can expect some significant changes with the Season 8 update. That's rolling out in a few weeks and promises a nerf to the game's latest hero, Horizon. Apparently, players that pick Horizon win more gunfights than Respawn intended. Whether that's because she's inherently overpowered or players are just getting used to the new meta is up for debate, but Respawn's data is making them lean toward tuning her down a bit. They're looking at things like her vertical lift speed of her tactical ability, how fast you move when jumping with it, your accuracy while using, and other factors. Based on my experience with the game, I'd say Horizon's strength lie in the combo of her ultimate and tactical ability. Being able to throw out a black hole that sucks players in while surprising them from above is a wombo combo. Reducing the black hole's HP so players can stop it faster and avoid getting bounced on by airborne enemies seems like the most reasonable nerf, but I'm sure Respawn has more nuanced plans. The current season is expected to end on February 1st when the current Battle Pass expires, so I'd expect Season 8 to launch a week or two after that. A massive update for Assassin's Creed Valhalla just launched that fixes too many issues to even keep track of. Everything from issues with achievements to crashes, performance, floating whales, and more have been addressed. This is the reoccurring theme with most of Valhalla's updates, tons of stuff getting fixed at once, followed by another patch that also fixes a ton of issues. Despite the game's bugs and performance issues, it was praised by critics and players at launch and has maintained a positive review status. At this point, I'd say most of the game's more egregious issues have been resolved. This patch does fix some critical bugs, but most of them are minor side quest related issues that probably wouldn't ruin the overall experience. Oculus is launching multi-user accounts with app sharing in February. Each user will still need their own Facebook account, but if you have a bunch of VR games on your account, you'll be able to share them with friends and family. Other gaming platforms, notably Steam, offer similar functionality. It's a great way to share cool experiences with people who might not otherwise spend the money to get into them. While Oculus will continue to support Oculus user accounts until 2023, it's clear they're going to make it harder and harder to justify not switching over to a Facebook account before then. Locking new and useful features behind a Facebook account is probably quite frustrating for Oculus users that intended to stick it out until they're forced to make one. At launch, account sharing will only be available on the Quest 2 as an experimental feature. Once it's considered stable, it'll roll out for the original Quest. Before we get to our final story today, just a quick reminder that we upload breaking news updates on Twitter, TikTok, and our YouTube Shorts channel. Check those out via the links in the description and pinned comment if you want the latest breaking news in a bite-sized format. In our final story today, Nintendo announced the release date for the new Pokemon Snap with a new gameplay trailer. The original Pokemon Snap was available on the Wii and the Wii U, but this new version is rebuilt from the ground up for the Switch. It features new visuals and a bunch of new content. It's launching on April 30th. And that wraps it up for today in gaming. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap signing off.